Hello, this is Dolk from KAMPFAR and you're watching Stormbringer TV.
Hello. So you just played at the Kaltenbach Festival. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, of course we did. I mean, we've done some major festivals now these last 2 months, but I mean, we've been here in 2007 and to come back here, even though it's a small festival, it's so nice here. I mean, it's almost like home actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. And how are your connections to spiritual things like ancient religion and paganism? How are your connections to this?
It's always been a huge part of my life. I mean, ever since I was a little shitty kid, that was important to me. But because I had a grandmother, which was really an important woman in my life, and she had this all kind of strange things. She told me all about this superstition in nature and all this pagan history. So that kind of lit a fire in me. So I mean, during the years I actually starting to study it myself. So I mean, this pagan history or history in general has always been a huge part of my life. So yeah.
And I guess it also inspires your music a lot.
Yeah, of course. I mean, KAMPFAR has been turning more and more into. It has always been very, very personal, but I mean, it's maybe even more personal now. I mean, it's the way I think, it's the way I have grown up, it's the way my surroundings and the history so connected to that is a big influence, but also a big major point of KAMPFAR in general, I think. Yeah.
And your latest album was called Rebel Markt. How did you like it by yourself?
I can't hear it right now. Can you say it again?
Yeah, your latest album, Rebel Markt. I can't speak it very well. How do you like it by yourself?
Personally, I think it's the best we have ever done, because I know it sounds like a cliche because it's a new album, but at least it's the album that we challenge ourselves the most, you know, as musicians. This is the first time in 20 years I have entered the recording room in studio and actually sweating and shivering because I was not sure if I could pull it off or not. So I mean, that's why it's, for me, it's a good album, because I can feel, I know that we struggle with this album, and the result in the end, it's even better than I thought it would be. So I mean, that's why I'm very happy with this album.
Yeah, I guess so. And the critics, were they also good?
It was insane actually, because on our Facebook site or whatever, we were supposed to like, okay, let's put up the good reviews and stuff, but it didn't stop, you know. It was coming and coming, and so we didn't do that, and instead we made a list, and when I got like 50 points, was like
amazing.
Yeah, it was like 50 reviews that was top notch. Okay, we released this list and we did that, and I thought that was it, but it didn't stop. And I mean, and after a couple of weeks I had 100, and so I mean, for me personally it was just wow, insane. So really good, really good. Yeah.
Very cool. How would you actually describe the music of KAMPFAR to someone who doesn't know it?
That's quite hard. I mean, with KAMPFAR we always, in the beginning I started KAMPFAR, I was thinking that I had to do metal this specific way. I wanted to do it my own way, you know. And with KAMPFAR I think we still do that, or we try to do that at least. And I mean, it's black metal with a KAMPFAR touch. It's so hard to describe because, but in my opinion, we don't try to be different. We try to be KAMPFAR, and KAMPFAR is different. So I mean, you have to listen to it. Yeah.
And is it actually true that you didn't play live since 2003?
Yeah, the thing is like, KAMPFAR started in '94 after my old band Mock split up. I finally was able to release KAMPFAR, but we were a two-piece band, so we got a lot of offers actually to go play live, but we didn't want to do it because we were a two-piece band and we're fine with that, you know, there's this studio thing going on. But back in we had this rough period from '99 in our life. Both me and Thomas had some personal issues going on in life, which was really personal stuff. So we had to like put everything on ice, and we went back together again in like 2004. We decided, okay, we can rather continue, or we can build a band and go out and finally go live, you know, because we had so much offers to do that. And we decided for the last thing, luckily. So in 2005 we did our first show, and that was like after 11 years of the band.
Pretty late.
Yeah. So.
But how was it then, the first show?
I was a bit surrealistic. I mean, it's a bit surreal because we went on stage at a local town in Norway called Halden, and Thomas was playing, and the guitar player. And after the show, he looked at me and said, "Never again. I'm done. I'm not going to do this." And but we continued though, luckily. So I mean, it was a bit mixed there, but I mean, KAMPFAR is about playing live. So I'm really lucky that we finally made sense and did it, you know.
So this is a big part of being a musician, but what is your favorite part of being a musician?
I don't know. I mean, it's more like, sometimes it can feel more like a curse than
really?
Blessing actually, because I mean, my head is spinning around all the time. When I'm with my family, for instance, it's like the same thing. I have some new ideas and stuff, and it's spinning around in my head all the time, and I'm not here. I'm somewhere else, you know. And that's just the curse of being a musician, I think. So I mean, but the good part is, of course, when you finally get to hear the result of what you have been building up in your head for, like, I don't know, ages. Yeah.
And you call yourself a true and honest band. What else bands are like that for you? Like really honest bands?
Yeah, I mean, during all these years, I know a lot of people, of course, in this business, but I mean, so things always change a bit, but I mean, in the end there's a lot of honest bands out there, but I mean, it's so hard for me to mention all this now, but I mean, there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of people or bands that are totally the opposite. So I mean, I'm not sitting here being this this high guy telling who's honest or not. I shall not do that. But I mean, yeah, people have to figure it out, I think. Yeah.
And actually, when you have to write down your ideas, when you're songwriting, do you have to be in a specific mood or a specific place, or that it just happens?
Yeah. that's also different. But normally I kind of have which I call my second home up in the mountains in Norway, called Hemsedal, which I've been since I was 6 years old, and I often go there because it's like a cabin up in the mountains, and there's nothing there. There's no 7-Eleven or pizza or whatever. It's like you have to bring whatever you bring up in the mountains, and you have to stay there. But we finally got electricity now for 5 years ago. So now we are able to put up all the gear there. And we actually, when we created Mare, the album, we went there and stayed there for 2 or 3 weeks and put up all the gear in the cabin there and just rehearsing, you know. And I like to be there when I'm in this creating mood, so because there's nothing there and there's nothing else to do. You can hike, of course, but other than that you have to create something. That's a good thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And your tattoo is quite famous, the KAMPFAR tattoo. Since when do you have it actually?
I actually took it at the 10-year anniversary of KAMPFAR. So I mean, I got it for 10 years now, so yeah.
And what are your plans for this year?
For this year? We've done a lot this year already. I mean, we've been on a full European tour with Hate. And then we did the first festival part. Then we had a little vacation in June, and then we come back again. So now we are on the end of the second round of the festivals this summer. We're doing 2 more festivals in Norway now, in next weekend and the weekend after that. And when that is done, we are more basically back to, you know, the creating stuff again. But I mean, already now there's a lot of stuff going on which I cannot talk about. But I mean, it seems like we're going to be busy already in the start of January already, so I mean.
And how long do you want to go on with KAMPFAR, or do you want to go on forever?
Yeah, that's a hard question to answer actually, but I mean, KAMPFAR is my life, and it's been that for 20 years. So, I mean, even when Thomas quit the band, which was a guy that I have been playing together with for 17 years, even then I got a physical reaction actually.
Really?
Yeah, when he quit the band, it was hard for me, but I mean, even that didn't stop me, because KAMPFAR is the force was lying deep in here somewhere, I think. So I mean, it's impossible to answer. We're still here, so I don't look that far away, but I mean, not far ahead, but we're still here and we still continue.
Here.
So, yeah.
Good last words.
Yeah.
Thank you.